I was in the home of Dr. Jack Frost in Anchorage, Alaska. And he's one of the greatest bow hunters to ever live. He's the first man to kill all 29 North American big game species with a bow, all of them in the record books. So he knows what he's talking about. And as I was in his trophy room, I said, Dr. Frost, what is your greatest trophy? And he said, the one that I haven't harvested yet. There's one that's eluded me that is by far smarter than anything. And I said, what? And he said,
Spiritual Outdoor Adventures with Jimmy Sights is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Emmy, bringing safety to people. Morel, #1 eternity targets. Trijicon, brilliant aiming solutions. Irwin Auto Company, the smart way to buy. And these fine sponsors. Closed captioning is brought to you by MTM Case Guard, quality shooting sports accessories since 1968. You may visit them online at mtmcaseguard.com.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Sights, and I'm coming to you today from northern Alberta, Canada. It is cold and snowy this morning, but I'm going to be honest with you, the weather has been wacky on this whitetail deer hunt, and we're also attempting to get a wolf while we're on this adventure. You're going to have to watch and see what happens. I've got a great crew of guys with me, my buddy Ricky Pena, also my buddy Dustin Harskamp. These two guys travel the world with me on adventures, and we have two newcomers. Jay Butters, I met at a Michigan wild game supper, and also a fellow named Andy Meldrum from Nashville, whom I just recently met. And we're hunting with Northern Alberta Outfitters that is owned and operated by a really cool guy named Ben, who has a very unique story. It's said that even the longest journey begins with a single step. My first step was a flight to Edmonton, Alberta in Western Canada. I met up with longtime friend Ricky Pena, hopped in our trusty SUV, and headed north to the little hamlet of
Fort Cinnabon,
home of Northern Alberta Outfitters. Once we got to camp and unloaded, it was time to sight in our rifles. With my new Trijicon AccuPower scope, Ricky and his Trijicon AccuPoint optics, and Ben acting as our spotter, it didn't take long for us to get zeroed in. Upon returning to the lodge, the Canadian sun was just setting, so we took a deep breath and made time to appreciate God's artistic handiwork. As dusk turned to dark, as some awesome trophies looked down on us, we retired to the warm glow of the fireplace and relaxed in the wood-paneled TV room surrounded by friends old and new. Finally, with Kristen at the helm in the kitchen, it was time for some great food, good conversation, and a few laughs as we prepared for day one.
okay, day one, Northern Alberta Outfitters. We're in northern Canada, and this is where I'm gonna hit the woods, go into a huge field, and I'm gonna be sitting on it. It's an old canola field they've already cut, and I'm gonna be sitting all day long. And this is my first hunt ever with the 300 Weatherby, and also my first hunt ever with the Trijicon AccuPower scope, which does not have the tritium. It actually has batteries, and we're gonna see how it does. Here we go. man, this thing is awesome. This is the nicest home-built deer stand I've ever been in. It's every bit as big as the biggest of the redneck blinds. It's probably even bigger. Actually, it's big enough to have a bed in it and sleep in it, which they do. It's hard to get in here on the ice without making a lot of noise, and so, as I understand it, Ben, his mom, his dad, they've slept in this blind on numerous nights so that they can be there at first light and maybe pick off a wolf. Buck. It's a shooter buck right there. He's way off though. Yeah, he's all the way over there, the wood line. He's gone. Oh man, that was fast. That looked like a good buck right there.
Well, so much for day one. Oh my goodness. And you never even made it to the stand.
Didn't even make it to the stand.
It looks like my new buddy Jay fared a little better today than I did.
My name's Jay Butters. I'm from Colon, Michigan. I met Jimmy at our sportsman's banquet at the church, and he was talking to my wife and talked about the Northern Alberta trip, and she sent me on the trip, so I'm here. It's been a good trip. Really enjoyed myself. I was fortunate enough to tag out the first day. We were going out to the stand and caught a buck crossing, and was able to get a good shot on him, and so been able to spend a lot of time in the Jeep and in camp with Ben and Josh. Just been very inspired by those two guys. They've overcome a lot of adversity in their lives, and they are two tough guys. I've just been amazed working with them, and just the way that they just keep on plugging along, and very inspiring.
When we return, we'll sit down and talk with Ben and hear how he overcame personal tragedy and turned it into triumph.
For years, we've shown you just a small part of some of the big things that our sponsor Emmy does to bring safety to people. Yes, they make a great product called Cargo Buckle that you've seen on every episode. But I'm here in Indiana at Emmy to tell you more about their great story. More than 1,000 team members at Emmy work every day to literally save lives. Did you know Emmy makes buckles and harnesses for nearly 75% of children's car seats? They're the leading seatbelt and airbag provider for heavy semi-trucks, fire trucks, school buses, and UTVs. They're also helping to develop restraints for military vehicles that will better protect our soldiers. And now they've developed a specialty car seat, which is portable and the best of its kind for traveling parents, called the Emmy Go. As you can see, Emmy's products touch the lives of tens of millions of people. But there's only one message they want me to share with you. Whatever vehicle you're in, please buckle up. You're irreplaceable. For more information, go to emmynet.com. Hey, I'm Jimmy Seitz, and I shoot Trigicon.
Trigicon, brilliant aiming solutions.
Almost 30 years ago, Morrell archery targets were built in a small garage.
American dream.
Experts said Morrell's patented target technology would never be matched.
Never.
Experts stumbled backwards with our easy air removal.
Easy peasy.
The experts told me that the consumer cost should be more.
Great value.
Today, from a 200,000 square foot facility and over 10 million targets sold, you can believe the experts when they tell you nobody beats Morrell.
This segment of Spiritual Outdoor Adventures with Jimmy Seitz is sponsored by Khmer Deer, the revolutionary deer attractant.
Our host on this adventure was Ben Coquel. He is the owner and senior guide for Northern Alberta Outfitters. You heard me say that he has a very unique story. Well, I sat down with Ben and he told it in his own words. Ben, that is a beast of a buck, and I'm just assuming it had to be some kind of record?
It's the biggest buck taken in Canada.
Really?
Free range with a bow, and I think it's 15th overall.
I got to hear the story about how you got this deer.
I saw him the year before, right after hunting season, and got a little footage of him going through the trees, and that was it. And we got through bow season, and I had a few days before rifle hunters showed up, so I went and sat in a redneck bale blind right on the edge of a oat canola field mixed, and he came out right beside it at 25 yards. I let him have it, and he went out about 40 yards and tipped over.
What was your reaction as soon as you saw that arrow hit its mark?
I had to drop my bow and just lean back and get my first breath of air because I don't think I'd breathed the whole time he was there.
Wow. You mentioned that you were in a redneck bale blind, which I love those. What other gear were you using?
I was shooting a Matthews Helium and Carbon Express 350s, the Mayhems, I think they're.
When you first got your hands on the antlers on this deer, was there ground shrinkage or ground growth?
A lot of ground growth. I thought he was right around that 220 mark, to tell you the truth. But he was 263 and 4/8, I think, and then he netted 249 and an eighth.
Ben, you suffered a serious mishap that left you paralyzed from the waist down. Do you mind telling us about that?
I broke my neck in 2001 on an ATV, and it was pretty much 2 years in the hospital, going through rehab and stuff like that. That was the hardest part, and did a little more rehab when I got out of the hospital and lived in the city, but hated it. So I kind of quit it and came back and started working on the family farm with Dad and bought land out here and farmed and just kept getting better from there, you know, jumping in and out of a tractor. And then finally he wanted to retire, and I got rid of my land and bought the outfitting business and kept going that way with it instead.
Did you have any friends or family members that inspired you through this process to keep on going and not quit?
I guess my dad helped me out on it the best, I would say. And I fell down for 2 years, really.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, let's go back to the hospital. And I said, no, I don't want to go back to the hospital. He goes, just do it for me. And we went back into the hospital, and he just showed me, like, look at this guy, look at that guy. Like, there's so many more people worse off than you are in the world. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much the biggest one right there. It was like, yeah, you're right. And then, I don't know, it's a tough deal either way, but you get through it, everybody gets through it a different way, but that was the biggest one for me, is just seeing someone else.
Ben, I spoke with your mom about you, and she said that she told you you make a life out of what you got left, and Ben has done it.
Well, it's true. You just don't give up.
We are the wanderers. We are the ones who go out amongst the trees to get back to our roots. The ones with rivers flowing in our veins and an internal compass that always points toward the great outdoors. It's all within reach. Ascend. Gear for the adventure in you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and other fine retailers.
The reality is, as an engineer, you really do look to try to make things as simple as possible. Our goal for this bow was to build the most accurate bow ever built. The result is the creation of a radically new system. You just have to shoot it to believe it.
Hello, I'm John Carter Cash. Welcome to the Cash Cabin Studio. My father, Johnny Cash, loved the outdoors and he loved reading the Bible, and I do likewise. That's why I appreciate so much what Jimmy Sites does. He gives away outdoor Bibles to viewers who cannot afford them. If you'd like to receive a free Bible, it's as easy as calling toll-free 1-888-SOA-WORD. That's 888-762-9673. You can also order Bibles online at spiritualoutdooradventures.org.
This segment of Spiritual Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by Schwacker, the broadhead that opens so fast you can hear the schwack.
There's my coyote friend back. Our situation is pretty much the same. The temperature really hasn't changed a whole lot. Sunrise this morning was just mind-boggling. The whole sky looked like it was just on fire, pinkish red, you know. The fog came rolling in, and oh my goodness. So far, I've got this family of coyotes that love to come and visit me. Yesterday, I had a moose cow and a calf come through. And I saw a good number of deer. I probably saw 25 overall yesterday. This morning, I've seen yearlings just here around the stand, but that's about it. Okay, there's a buck. I can't tell how big he is, but he's got a rack. Let's see how far he is. Yeah, he's at 975 yards. He's almost 1,000 yards away. I don't think I'll be trying that shot.
I hear footprints. Oh, it's my old friend. Hi, Wiley.
Hey, how you doing there, Bambino?
Where are you going?
I'm going to a party.
Well, who's gonna be there?
Well, there's my brother Jumpin' Jack, my cousin Red Fox, and some bachelors you might just be interested in.
Well, where are they having the party?
They're holding it over at the Moose Lodge.
Can I come too?
Hey, you're welcome to come along if you want.
Well, I got nothing better to do.
All right, well, it's your call. Talk to you later.
Wait up, Wiley. Wiley, wait up!
Buck. There we go. Right to left, same exact spot that I was yesterday. That's a bigger deer right there. That's a good deer right there. Man, that is a shooter for sure. No doubt about that. This Trichicon on 16-pound, man, I can look right at him. He's going just like that. Just like that. That's two in a row, 2 afternoons in a row. I've had a shooter buck do that. And they're all down there on that far wood line. I need to be down there. I'll have to talk to him about moving the stand tonight.
When we come back, Jimmy gets his wish. But will he get his elusive whitetail trophy? Or will he just be crying wolf? One of the best-selling outdoor videos ever produced is now available in this special offer. In this 1-hour documentary, you'll enjoy 2 days of duck hunting and godly wisdom in the swamps of Louisiana as Jimmy Seitz joins Phil Robertson and his son Jace of Duck Dynasty. In this package, you'll also receive a bonus duck hunting episode, a printed study guide written by Jimmy and Phil, a photo signed by Jimmy, and a special message from the Amazon jungle including Steve Saint and Min Kai. Order this Talk the Talk with the Duckman documentary package for just $15 plus shipping and handling. Call 1-888-SOA-WORD. That's 1-888-762-9673.
We did see
You can
some
also
motion
order it
from that ladder
online
stand.
at
Again,
spiritualoutdooradventures.org. All proceeds benefit the Bible Distribution Ministry of Spiritual Outdoor Adventures.
Dr. Jimmy Seitz and his team at Spiritual Outdoor Adventures love to create resources that are entertaining and inspirational. You can find these resources online at spiritualoutdooradventures.org. There you will find outdoor Bibles that are available, such as the Heart of the Outdoors Bible or the Leather Sportsman Bible in a gift box.
We also have DVD sets of every Spiritual Outdoor Adventure season, one of the longest running outdoor shows in history.
You can call toll-free at 1-888-762-9673.
This segment is sponsored by our friends at Eastern European Mission, our partners in distributing the Bible to Russia and Ukraine, because the whole world needs to know.
In case you're wondering what on earth is going on, I have been seeing a buck that is a shooter way down there past that corner, and of course you've seen him also on the camera. So we are moving the stand down there. Simple as that. Thanks to Ben's mom and dad, my deer stand has been moved to the perfect location. It's mid-afternoon, my Trijicon AccuPower scope is sighted in. My Weatherby 300 Magnum, given to me by my good friend Gary Ezel, is locked and loaded. I'm surrounded by 11 good-looking does. Now all I can do is sit and wait for their boyfriend to show up.
Man, I love this new location. Man, I'm telling you what, this is a great looking spot, and this wood line out here in front of me feeds to right here. I went and put my conquest set out right here, just literally right there. It's 25 yards away from the stand. Check it out. Look at this. Look at that big bad boy. He is beautiful. He is beautiful. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's a perfect 11 point. I love him. I absolutely love him. As I return to camp with my buck, who should greet me but my big old buddy, Dustin. A true sportsman, a real friend. He could not have been happier for me. On this second day of our hunt, Dustin harvested a beautiful 10-pointer in the 160 category. Now that my 11-point buck is bagged and tagged, I can concentrate on harvesting the most elusive of North American wild game, the wolf. Since Dustin and I had each harvested bucks, we decided to buddy up and hunt the wolf together.
We're in a different location than where I hunted the first 3 days, and Dustin and I have seen some wolf tracks. We thought it would be a great spot to set up for a hunt. When I interviewed Ben, he mentioned how difficult it is to outsmart a wolf. Well, the winds of the hunt didn't see fit to lead a wolf in our direction. There's always the next time, and believe me, Ben and all the great folks at Northern Alberta Outfitters will likely see us again. The theme of this episode has been overcomers. We met Ben and heard his amazing story of turning tragedy into triumph. He was a guy who would not listen to the words, "you can't." And I can guarantee you that whitetail buck had no clue there were a pair of crutches or possibly even a wheelchair in that ground blind when that arrow came flying true to its mark outside of that window. Ben is a great inspiration. Another of the inspirational people on this trip was Josh Van Kasteren. Josh survived a horrific fire in an accident that burned his entire body. But rather than settling to be an invalid for life, he pressed on, and he too was one who took his tragedy and turned it into a triumph. He's a great member of the Northern Alberta Outfitters family, and I would not have had success with my deer hunt were it not for Josh. What an inspiration both of these men are to me. These guys are such a great inspiration, and if you would like to hunt with them, be sure and contact them at the information on the bottom of the screen. And at some point, I'm going to write a study guide to go along with this lesson, and you can guess what the theme's going to be: overcomers. At the beginning of this hunt, I thought maybe I was going to be the one that had to be an overcomer because I didn't have a cameraman. I got to film this hunt by myself. That's kind of hard to do, but you know what? It's absolutely nothing compared to what Josh and Ben have had to overcome. And I was reminded of that. I'm also thankful that I was able to capture that harvest of that big buck on film so you could see it as well. It was pretty fun. As far as overcoming is concerned, though, there's so many cool things in the Bible about that. The Apostle Paul was one of those great overcomers, and you could read about him in his epistles and also in the book of Acts. And if you don't have a Bible, I'd love to send one to you. Please contact me at the information on your screen. I'd love for you to check out our Bibles and our spiritual resources at our website. It's jimmysites.com or spiritualoutdooradventures.org. You can also call us toll-free at 888-762-9673. I look forward to hearing from you. May God bless you from the big northern woods of northern Alberta. I'll see you down the trail on the next adventure.
Dr. Jimmy Sites speaks to thousands of people each year at churches, conventions, and wild game suppers. If you would like to schedule Jimmy to speak at your event, call 1-615-338-0234.